So in this video we plan to tattoo 3 sessions in 3 days.
この作品なんですけど、約2年ぐらい前に始めた作品です。かなり長い休憩、1年間ぐらい間が空いて、で今日久しぶりに掘り続けていくんだけど、今日の目的は前回ここ掘った部分の引き続きこの額を掘っていく予定です。予定としているのは今日、明日、明後日3日間かけてできるだけたくさん掘るつもりです。作品の内容なんですけど、キリンです。作品キリンがここに1匹いて、反対側にももう1匹いて。
So the kirin is a powerful creature in regards to mythology. It's made up of 3 types of animals: the deer, dragon, and the unicorn. The kirin is said to have footprints that are very perfectly circle. It's very peaceful and careful, capable of walking on water and on grass without bending the blades.
そうですね。で反対側にも同じ感じのちょっとだけ雰囲気変わってるんだけど、ちょっと違う雰囲気、下向いてて上を向いてるっていう風にちょっと書いて、当然この額の内容はこの雲、空、風と雲です。季節も表すためにもみじを持ってます、ね。ここよく見るとこのもみじがこの風の中に絡んでたり。
これいいね。
こう混雑してるように見えるけど、仕上がるとシンプルに見えるんじゃないかな。
So tattooing 3 days in a row is not quite typical. There are many reasons why. I'll get to these points throughout this video. We're normally based in Sydney, but we've had this opportunity this time around to be able to guest spot at Horie-san's studio in Shin Shinjuku. The relationship with Horie-san and I started a bit over 10 years ago when I was Horie-san's client. I got 2 sleeves off him. Yeah, we've become friends since then. Yeah, Horie-san is a very special mentor of mine. Ever since the get-go of me having a passion for tattooing, he was one of my biggest mentors. Yeah, so I feel it's a bit of a privilege to be able to have a nice, solid relationship with Horie-san, and to be able to share the space that he works at. Yeah. So the first session, we decided to start shading from the front side of his arm. So what I'm putting on now on Shin, it's called second skin. It's an alternative, it's a way to heal and encourage the healing process. The objective behind this second skin is to form a little blister on your tattoo, on your new tattoo. It traps the plasma, which is the white blood cells that comes out of your body. This plasma, this white blood cells, has tremendous properties of healing. It heals your body pretty much. So I guess the objective is to kind of try to trap and keep that plasma on your tattoo to encourage the healing. Today, after the first session, we've come to this point. We've gotten about a third of the way. On day 2, we plan to continue and creep up onto his chest.
Day 2, Shin-kun. Day 2. You feeling good?
Feeling good, right?
Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, just hungry as fuck right now.
Oh man, let's get some food, bro.
Come on a bit closer, man. もうちょっとこっち来て。今日のセッション、2セッション目ですね、今日は。で、今日の目的は、この昨日やった部分が前なんで、今日は後ろ側やっていこうと思います。で、引き続き、ガクボリですね。ここから上に上がっていくつもりです。
Sexy.
So today on day 2, we'll be working around his existing piece. Shin has a few Roman numerals above his elbow on the back of his arm. So we've decided to keep it and to incorporate it into his sleeve. Yeah. It's quite common to come across these little one points in regards to like a big sleeve. A lot of guys or girls or clients like to start off little, so they'll decide to get something little, and then obviously in the future they get more confident and they get more comfortable with tattoo, so they decide to get something larger. So what we see today working around this existing small piece is quite common. Sometimes if it doesn't suit or if the client doesn't like it, sometimes we cover it up so it's embedded inside the sleeve. But if the client wants to keep it, we'll incorporate it in the sleeve. So in regards to working 3 days in a row or 2 days in a row, it's typically not recommended. It's because after you do the first day or that first session, usually I do like 5 to 6 hours per session, and I cover a large area. How a tattoo feels like after you get tattooed feels like a really bad sunburn, probably one of the worst sunburns you've ever had in your life. And so you have this crazy throbbing sensation. It hurts when you touch it, when you rub it on your clothes. So you can kind of imagine what it feels like the next day. So that's why it's not recommended to do like days in a row, like a few days in a row. In Shin's case, because we have a time frame of 3 days straight, only these 3 days, we're pushing a little bit. So Shin did mention to me that it was quite painful on the second day. I can imagine that's due to obviously the second day in a row and also the few drinks we had last night. If we did space these sessions out, which I do recommend, Shin wouldn't have felt what he felt on this second day. So today is day 3. The plan is to complete the shading on this side of his arm. As you can see, what's left is the back part of his arm and the top shoulder and the bit where the shoulder and the chest kind of meets. These areas, especially the shoulder, it's quite difficult to work around. I guess there's a few reasons. The shoulder is quite bony, so you're dealing with like not like meaty areas, which we have to be careful of the needle tips. I can also imagine the way we position our clients. Our clients are always lying down on the bed, so it's quite difficult to get your machines and your hands in that position. Yeah, the past 3 days have been quite enduring for both Shin and I. Personally, my experiences has been quite fun. Shin personally is a good friend of mine. We met through my cousin's restaurant in Sydney. Yeah, my objective was to try to get this whole side of his arm or all the shading background done, and I was able to reach my goal. So it was quite satisfying to kind of tattoo Shin for 3 days. I think both of us felt the second day was a bit slow, a bit painful. That was probably because we had a few too many drinks on the first day. But besides that, everything was a smooth sail. Yeah, I had great fun with Shin, especially working at Horie-san's studio in Shinjuku.